Hey, I'm golf broadcaster Matt Adams. The updated and expanded second edition of my book, The Golf Round I'll Never Forget, Golf's Biggest Stars Recall Their Finest Moments, is now available. Readers can expect to march with Arnie's Army at the 1960 U.S. Open, relive Jack Nicklaus's remarkable 1986 Masters win, and be amazed by the Tiger Slam. The Golf Round I'll Never Forget, Golf's Biggest Stars Recall Their Finest Moments. Pick it up where fine books sold, including BarnesandNoble.com and Amazon.com.
Thrive Suite Productions. And welcome back to This Day in Sports History. It's February 13th, and on this day in 1977, speed skater Eric Heiden did something that no American had ever been able to accomplish. Now, if you're a fan of the Olympics, then you are probably familiar with the name Eric Heiden and his winning 5 gold medals in the 1980 Winter Olympics in speed skating. He, along with the U.S. Olympic hockey team, were the heroes in Lake Placid that year. But 3 years earlier, Eric Heiden was definitely not a household name, and in fact was little known outside of speed skating circles, pun intended. Heiden was an 18-year-old college freshman competing on the other side of the globe in the Netherlands in the World All-Around Speed Skating Championships over the span of 2 days. Now, as the name suggests, this was a test of speed skaters in 4 different distances. On day 1, Heiden won the 500-meter event, the shortest of the 4 distances. His follow-up to that later in the day was a third-place finish in the 1,500-meter to put him in a good spot heading into day 2. Now, day 2, here on the 13th, featured the grueling distances of the 5,000-meter and the 10,000-meter. That converts to 9.3 miles of speed skating in a single day. Heiden may have held back a little bit in the 5,000, finishing 9th in the event. Entering the 10,000-meter, the final event of the competition, he held a slim cumulative lead over 2 Norwegians, and there were not many who thought he could skate fast enough to hang on to his tiny margin. Now, remember, this is long-track speed skating on a 400-meter oval. There are only 2 competitors on the ice at one time. You get 1 race at each distance to set your time. Now, pairing with someone who can push you and extract valuable tenths of seconds is crucial. If you're, paired with somebody that isn't going to be nipping at your heels, it takes a special kind of concentration and effort to keep that winning pace and not just relax. Now, Heiden got a really good pairing for the final 10,000-meter event with the Dutchman Piet Kleine, the defending world champion who was in the other lane. Heiden also knew the time to beat. Jan Egil Storholt had set a time of nearly 15 minutes flat previously. If Heiden could post a time under 15 minutes, he would be the champion. Heiden was able to match Kleine nearly blade for blade during his heat, and then he pulled away to win by more than a second, posting one of just 3 sub-15-minute times in the 10,000-meter, and he secured the all-around World Championship, becoming the first American to win the world title. Heiden would duplicate his feat in both 78 and 79 before skating into Olympic fame with 5 gold medals in the 1980 Olympiad. His success in 1980 can draw a direct line back to the world title he won on this day in 1977. Interesting fact, his sister Beth was competing in the women's all-around in Keystone, Colorado at the same time. Beth won the 3,000-meter distance but finished just off the all-around podium in 4th place. Also on this day in 1954, Furman's Frank Selvy became the only player in NCAA basketball history to score 100 points in a game. Selvy hit 41 of 66 shots on the night, and of course, this was long before the three-point shot was a thing. He also hit 18 of 22 free throws as 4,000 people jammed into Textile Hall to watch the game while many others watched on television. It was the first live television broadcast of a game that had been done in South Carolina. Selvy gave the crowd everything they wanted, hitting his final shot with just seconds to go, draining a 40-foot rainbow to give him triple digits. In 1990, Larry Bird's pursuit of Calvin Murphy's consecutive free throw streak ended at 71, coming up just short of setting a new NBA mark, Murphy's record of 78 consecutive free throws would stand for another 3 years until Minnesota's Michael Williams hit 97 in a row. And in 1968, the finals of the women's luge event concluded with the East Germans finishing first, second, and fourth. But an official accused the East Germans of cheating by heating their runners, which would make them faster. All 3 women were disqualified. The East Germans denied any wrongdoing and said it was a Western capitalist plot. And they may have been right. A Stasi document uncovered in 2006 revealed the official who made the call to disqualify allegedly had been bribed by West German officials. That's all for today. More tomorrow on This Day in Sports History.
Hey there, sports history fan. This is Arnie Chapman, a.k.a. the Football History Dude, and I hope that you enjoyed this recent episode presented by the Sports History Network and were able to learn some good old-fashioned sports history knowledge nuggets. I started the Sports History Network back in 2020 with the mission to help podcasters find a community of like-minded sports history nerds, as well as helping aspiring podcasters to start their own shows. We have a little bit over 30 shows on the network right now covering all sorts of sports history, but as far as I'm concerned, we're just at the toothpick in the ocean moment, that can't even figure it out because there's so much more coming. We wanted to create the ultimate headquarters for sports yesteryear, starting with Podcast Network and our website, but we're going to continue to move into other mediums as well. And here's the cool part, because we want you to be part of our team. So if you're interested in starting your own podcast, or maybe being a guest on one of our shows, or who knows, maybe even writing an article for us over on the website. Seriously, all you gotta do is reach out to us on the contact page over at sportshistorynetwork.com. You can be as technologically savvy as a Neanderthal tapping on a stone trying to figure out this whole hieroglyphics thing back in the day. Again, it doesn't matter, because even if you don't understand the whole podcast space, we have a production team that can pretty much help you out with doing everything. All you gotta do, head over to sportshistorynetwork.com, head to the contact page, fill it out. That message goes right to me, and I'll reach out to you as soon as I can. But for now, dude, I'm through if you're through.